Tremendous job in there. He did what he had to do.
Yeah, Canelo a big dude, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I believe in my abilities. He's a heavy dude, but he's not a big guy. Like he's 5'8", I'm 5'8", you know what I mean? My arm's longer than his, you know. That fight it'd be good. You won't get hit in the fight. You know, that's one thing we all know. And I believe in my abilities and I believe in myself that I can handle anything that any fighter.
There are still 6 months left until their highly anticipated fight, but Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have already started building up the tension ahead of their super fight in September. The two met with Turki Alashik earlier today, but instead of smoothing things out, the meeting took a completely unexpected turn.
Canelo in Riyadh in May, the big fight.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford had a heated exchange, and things nearly escalated into a full-blown brawl, one that Turki Alashik wouldn't have been able to stop. Their trip to Saudi Arabia was meant to finalize the details of their mega fight, but when they crossed paths at the airport before heading to Turki's residence, things got out of control.
His Excellency didn't seem as into this in the past, and now last night seems very on board making this happen. What changed on his end?
I don't know. You have to ask him. You know, I think it's a very intriguing fight. You know, Canelo and me is the same height. I got longer reach than Canelo. I'm faster than Canelo. But Canelo is bigger than me. He's stronger than me. So we both giving away something, but we both gaining something at the same time.
Both fighters' teams had expected them to keep things professional and respectful. There was never any bad blood between them, even as they called each other out and built anticipation for the fight. However, that changed when Terence Crawford approached Canelo Alvarez at the airport to exchange greetings, only to be seemingly ignored by Canelo.
So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit to face Crawford, but you know, you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible. Why not?
Brings at me or throw at me. You know, I gotta be able to believe in myself if I'm gonna get in the ring with you. I can't go in the ring thinking, oh man, if this guy hit me, he's gonna knock me out, or if this guy hit me, he's gonna break my ribs. So now, you know, if he was talking about Deontay Wilder or something, like,
Just
man, that dude been out.
Crawford didn't back down and tried again to get Canelo's attention. But this time, Canelo reacted aggressively. Things got tense fast, and both fighters started throwing verbal shots at each other, looking ready to go at it right then and there. Thankfully, their teams quickly stepped in to separate them, along with airport security, preventing an all-out brawl before their scheduled match in September. They later arrived separately at Turki Alashik's residence, where it's believed the Saudi boxing mogul helped diffuse the tension. A photo of all three, Crawford, Canelo, and Turki, was later shared on Turkey's social media, suggesting that things had calmed down.
In the history of boxing, in September, then 2 more fights in 26. Don't miss with the line.
The boxing world needed a blockbuster fight to shake things up this year, and thanks to Turki Alashik, fans are getting exactly that. Canelo Alvarez and former undisputed champion Terence Crawford have had multiple meetings with the Saudi boxing mogul, but now their rivalry has been fueled even more by their heated confrontation.
Alvarez.
Oh, well, it ain't really no message, you know. It's all respect over here, you know, and if you know, he do decide to come my way and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electrifying fight, you know. It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently. And it'll be a well-fought fight for both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody that I step.
For a fight expected to be the biggest matchup of the year, fans want excitement, drama, and intensity. Crawford and Canelo seem to understand that perfectly and are delivering. With Riyadh season in full swing, Turki Alashik has been leading negotiations between both fighters' camps, aiming to finalize one of the most anticipated fights in boxing history. Canelo Alvarez wasn't too eager to fight the 37-year-old from Omaha, Nebraska. However, the Mexican boxing star has since had a change of heart and is now fully preparing for challenge. Many believe that Turki Alashik played a key role behind the scenes, offering Canelo an irresistible financial package to agree to the fight. Even though Canelo already has a match scheduled in May against William Skull for Cinco de Mayo weekend, it's his upcoming showdown with Terence Crawford that's stealing all the headlines.
Y para este imbécil intento de gente que tengo aquí a mi izquierda, que no se le olvide que yo ya vine siendo el Canelo a Estados Unidos y que solamente lucró con mi nombre. Nunca perdí un solo centavo, sino nomás ganó dinero. ¿Ya le pagaste a Golovkin lo que le quería robar? Sí, muy bien.
During an interview with a well-known boxing platform, the 34-year-old Canelo Alvarez discussed the fight with Crawford, admitting that, at the end of the day, he might not get much credit for facing him. "I won't get credit if I fight Crawford, but you never know in boxing. I move up and down in weight and fight anyone, so why not? It's possible." He went on to say, "I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter. No disrespect to him. But sometimes it's crazy how people criticize me for fighting someone like Charlo, who's big, but now they want to fight Crawford, who's even smaller at 147. It doesn't make sense, but you guys are asking for it." This echoed comments he made in an earlier interview where he said, "I'm in. Why not? I think Crawford is a great fighter, but in my weight class, it's an easy fight, easy money. If the money is right, I'm in. I don't really like fighting guys like Crawford because he moves too much, and the fight isn't as exciting. But in his last fight, he didn't move as much. So yeah, if the money is right, I'll take the fight." On the other hand, Terence Crawford has been actively pursuing a fight with Canelo Alvarez ever since his dominant victory over Errol Spence in the 147-pound welterweight division, where he became the undisputed champion. "I've been wanting this fight. It's a legacy fight. It's the biggest fight in boxing today. I feel like this fight is the last of the greats. It's going to be massive. You got two of the top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the world going head-to-head. I know Canelo is bigger, but I'm ready for the challenge. There's nothing but respect, and if we get in the ring, it'll be an electrifying fight." As he prepares for the fight 6 months from now, the former undisputed champion from Omaha acknowledges the challenges ahead. He's aware of Canelo's size and power, but remains confident in his ability to adapt. Crawford has a track record of defeating bigger opponents and remains undefeated with a record of 41-0. "I've been fighting bigger guys my whole life," Crawford said, guaranteeing a victory. "Of course, I'll beat him. There's no doubt in my mind that I can take on anyone who steps in the ring with me." What makes the Canelo versus Crawford fight so intriguing is that both fighters are nearing the final stages of their legendary careers. Canelo, 34, has been a professional boxer for nearly 2 decades, compiling an incredible record of February 2nd, 62. Some of his most intense battles, including his controversial fights with Gennady Golovkin, have undoubtedly taken a toll on his body. Meanwhile, at 37 years old, Crawford isn't getting any younger either, with 41 fights under his belt and an undefeated record. Given where both fighters stand in their careers, a Canelo versus Crawford showdown makes perfect sense. The question now is, what's left for either of them to accomplish after this? Boxing fans are in for something truly special. Both of these fighters have experienced what it means to be an undisputed champion, something rare in today's boxing world. They also know what it's like to perform under immense pressure. Canelo has been in numerous high-profile fights against elite opponents like Golovkin and Floyd Mayweather. On the other hand, Crawford had his first real super fight when he dominated Errol Spence in a 9-round battle. Now, Crawford, who last fought at super welterweight, would have to jump 2 full-weight divisions to challenge super middleweight King Canelo. If this fight happens, it would be one of the biggest matchups in recent boxing history. Canelo Alvarez lost his undisputed status at 168 pounds when the International Boxing Federation stripped him of his title. The belt was later claimed by Cuban boxer William Skull. Before Alvarez faces Terence Crawford in September, he has vowed to reclaim the IBF title from Skull. During a press conference with William Skull, Alvarez made it clear that his goal is simple. He wants to make his fight against Crawford an undisputed world super middleweight championship bout. To do that, he needs to win back the IBF title first. As the fight approaches, Terence Bud Crawford understands the physical disadvantage he will face against Canelo. He acknowledges that size will play a major role, but he remains confident in his boxing ability. However, many boxing analysts are skeptical about Crawford's chances at super middleweight. Their doubts stem from his last fight, where he secured a decision victory over Israel Madrimov at super welterweight, a performance that wasn't as dominant as many had expected. Despite these concerns, the possibility of a Canelo versus Crawford fight has captured the excitement of boxing fans. The combination of power, speed, skill, and charisma from both fighters promises an unforgettable event. Canelo has built a tradition of fighting twice a year, once in May and again in September, aligning his fights with Mexico's Independence Day celebrations. Since 2022, he has stuck to the schedule and is expected to do so again in 2025. Meanwhile, Crawford has chosen not to take any other fights before facing Canelo in September. Some believe this is a risky move, pointing to how inactivity hurt Errol Spence when he faced Crawford. In contrast, Crawford took a warm-up fight before facing Spence and ultimately dominated him. Many wonder if history will repeat itself. Some critics argue that this fight is more of a spectacle than a true competition, since Crawford fights at 154 pounds, 2 divisions below Canelo's weight class. However, both Crawford and promoter Sheikh Turki Alec managed to persuade Alvarez to take the fight, with Canelo reportedly asking for $150 million. Even though the matchup might not seem competitive on paper, Canelo is not underestimating Crawford. Crawford's unique boxing skills have kept him undefeated through 41 fights, and that's why Alvarez is taking this fight seriously. Trainer Robert Garcia weighed in on the matchup, discussing Canelo's advantages while acknowledging Crawford's exceptional skill set. According to Garcia, Crawford has already achieved everything he wanted in boxing. He has nothing left to prove, Garcia said in an interview with Fight Hype. He's done it all. He doesn't have to challenge himself anymore. Garcia revealed that after speaking with Crawford personally, he believes Crawford is only interested in one major fight, Canelo. If that fight doesn't happen, Crawford may never step into the ring again. If Crawford chooses to stay in the junior middleweight division, he has plenty of options. The most enticing matchups will be against WBC and WBO champion Sebastian Fundora or IBF champion Baker Murtazalev. Other potential opponents include Jermel Charlo, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Sergey Boachuk, and Xander Zayas. Still, Garcia doesn't think Crawford needs to pursue another fight. He's already cemented his legacy with an unbeaten record and outstanding career achievements. He doesn't need to fight just to satisfy fans, Garcia explained. He also pointed out that if money were the motivation, Crawford wouldn't need to fight again. He has managed his finances well and made smart investments. The only reason Crawford would return to the ring is to face Canelo and finish his career on a high note. He's a smart guy. He's made good investments, so he doesn't have to fight anymore. But if he gets a Canelo fight, he'll take it. Otherwise, he might never fight again, Garcia added. If the fight does happen, Garcia believes Crawford can hold his own against Canelo, at least for a while. Crawford can be competitive for 6 to 8 rounds, Garcia predicted. He has speed, power, and skill, enough to earn Canelo's respect. But eventually, Canelo is just too big and too strong. Garcia concluded that while the first half of the fight could be exciting, Alvarez's size advantage would likely become the deciding factor in the later rounds. However, not everyone agrees with that assessment. Former boxer Mikey Garcia recently shared his opinion with Fight Hub TV. He recalled meeting Crawford at the WBC convention in Hamburg, Germany, last December. During their conversation, Mikey praised Crawford's career and skills. "Crawford is one of the best fighters I've seen," Garcia said. Mikey Garcia told Crawford directly, "Man, you're a beast. You don't always get the recognition you deserve because of politics and favoritism in boxing, but your skills speak for themselves. However, Garcia still questions how a fighter who started at